Breaking Liam Payne updates. New reports are alleging that the day that Liam Payne passed away, he decided to end all his solo career companies and all plans to tour and music. Before we get into it, if you are new to my channel, I just wanted to give you a quick disclaimer that I understand the media, some publications are being very nasty and horrible to Liam Payne, his memory, and his family. There's so many very dark conspiracies, but on my channel, we are covering everything with a lot of humanity, love, and respect. So you are in a safe place. Don't worry. There was no triggers, no traumas here. We are doing everything out of love and respect. But before we get into it, hello, my name is Sebastian and I welcome you all with open arms. I spill pop culture tea videos every day. So anything happening in pop culture, I'm covering it on this channel. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would be so grateful. We have been covering, of course, Liam Payne and everything associated with him. So there's new reports that are saying that Liam was allegedly resigning from all of his solo companies on the day of his passing. It says here that singer Liam Payne, who passed away on October 16, 2024, was reportedly about to end his solo career the same day. Documents obtained from companies house implied that the 31-year-old singer had filed papers for resignation as the director from 4 companies on the day he died. According to a report by Times Now, Payne used these companies to collect his income from several live shows and recordings. The films including Hampton Music Ltd, which was worth 17,300 euros in 2023. Another company, Hampton Records Ltd, was valued at 300,000 in 2022, and it later fell to less than 75,000. Similarly, Long Play Touring LLP dropped from 135,000 euros to 17,000 in 2023. The fourth company, Hampton Publishing Ltd, was valued at only 729 euros. Belfast Live reported that Payne decided to quit as a director of these companies after they fell in value. A partial autopsy reports obtained by ABC News confirmed that Payne had several substances in his system the day of his passing. It also says here that Universal Music reportedly ended its contract with Liam just a few days before his passing. As per Daily Mail, record label Universal Music had reportedly scrapped their contract with Liam Payne. The One Direction singer had signed a deal with Capitol Records, a label owned by Universal Music, in 2016. A source told Daily Mail that Payne had signed a lucrative deal with Capitol Records, but he was unable to recoup the investment. Liam's advance was massive and he didn't recoup it. Out of all the One Direction boys, Liam was in the wrong path musically. It says here that Liam was reportedly dropped by his record label just 2 days before his passing. The British tabloid also claimed that Payne's PR had resigned in October, which left him without any representative. This happened sometime after Liam's former fiancée, Maya Henry, began legal proceedings against him. According to Henry, the late singer bothered her by repeatedly trying to reach out to her, an insider told the Daily Mail. So, Universal Music did share a comment on Liam's passing, saying, "We are devastated by the tragic passing of Liam Payne. His legacy will live on through his music and the countless fans he inspired and who adored him. We send our deepest condolences to Liam's family and loved ones." Okay, so let's talk about this. I do think that it's important to acknowledge that, obviously this is just about him resigning to the companies. That's hearsay. I mean, there's no proof as of right now that was true. But I will say, I feel like Liam, I've been doing a lot of research on Liam, of course, and I've been seeing a lot of interviews, and I've been seeing a lot of things, articles and just countless videos I've seen of Liam Payne. And there was a lot of this feeling I had was that he never wanted One Direction to end. So I know what you're going to say. You're probably going to be like, Sebastian, did you not watch the Logan Paul interview? And yes, I did. But Liam has, since then talked about this podcast and how he basically regrets it. I'll play for you guys his reaction on this podcast. But there was something that a lot of people need to understand is that, of course, they were so overworked. They were so, everything was so nonstop. They didn't have a moment to celebrate. So obviously, he did say in an interview that he was happy that it ended at the time. But his love for music, his love for his bandmates, his love for what they all shared will never go away. This is what he said about the Logan Paul interview.
A little bit of time out, actually. Sorry, for the MIA. You guys know there was a few reasons why I did that, and I just need to take a little bit of time out for myself, actually, because I kind of became somebody who I didn't really recognise anymore, and I'm sure you guys didn't either. So last time you guys saw me, I was in Minneapolis, which was a good time. Part of it. I met some great friends. I met Gary V, who you all know is a very inspirational person. And then I went on the Logan Paul podcast. Can't even say it. I think for me, a lot of what I just said just came from the wrong place. I was so angry at what was going on around me, and instead of taking a look inwards, I decided to look outwards at everybody else. And I just think, I just took it out on everybody else, which is just wrong, really. And my own frustrations with my own career and where I kind of landed, I took shots at everybody else, which is wrong. So obviously I want to apologise for that in the first instance, because that's definitely not me. Obviously one of the biggest remarks I made was about the One Direction thing. And a lot of self-protection, I suppose, in that moment more than anything. The rest of the boys are really stuck by me, and when I needed them most, they kind of came to the rescue. Even Zayn as well, which is why I did send him a little thank you online. Actually, it came across really big-headed, didn't it? Wow, it was hard for me to watch back. I think in those moments when you make these videos, you don't realise the impact that your words might have on other people. I mean, looking back on it, the whole podcast was, let's say, a big L, and not in the Liam kind. In fact, it's probably one of those life-changing moments that saved my life in a way, and without it I wouldn't have, I went through a lot, don't get me wrong, but to actually arrive where I am here today and where I hope we're going to go forward together, it could be one of those make us or break us. It was tough to read some of the stuff online. I think thick skin's quite fake. No matter what you read, it still hurts, and like I said, a lot of it was warranted and just people trying to protect the people they're fans of and the people they love and care about. So
I know that he felt like right when it ended, he was grateful that it ended, and I know that he has said this in an interview.
The day the band ended, I was like, thank Lord for that. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but I needed to stop or it would kill me. Don't get me wrong, we had the best time ever. We did. But there was moments where through, there's a big movement on it at the moment, and people overworking and like, you don't realize you have a choice at that point. But in those shows, sometimes they don't give you the choice because you want the dream. But you have to realize there is a sacrifice for that. Rather than it just, and like I say, I never want to come on these things and whine about stuff. Like, I made my own choices in life.
So even though he did speak out, about One Direction in that way, his love for music was always there. And I believe that with the record company, allegedly, ending his contract, and maybe him comparing himself to the other boys and just feeling maybe the weight of the world on him, I think he was going through a very hard time. And I think when it comes to substance abuse and mental health, there's just a lot of things that people don't quite understand or don't give you grace over. So I just think that for somebody who worked so much like Liam and like the other boys, it must be very difficult to one day just stand still and be like, okay, what am I going to do? And on top of that, when you have shady people around you who are only looking at you as, someone that could give them money, a cash cow, basically, it's just such an unsafe environment, and it's just the recipe for a perfect disaster. So I think that, with the right people around him, I think with just people who cared for him, I think we would have seen a big difference in if the case is that he took his life, which is still being, of course, investigated. One thing you guys didn't know is that there's so many different reports from over the years saying that, his team, they did get him help. He was been to rehab multiple times, and allegedly he had OD'd twice before. And that's why his manager right now is being called out, because they're saying, how come he was put to work when just a couple weeks before he had to go out to the Netflix show, he allegedly OD'd and he was put in rehab. So I think that it's just like a snowball effect. It's a snowball effect that just wouldn't stop. I understand that he had that passion inside of him that he wanted to create. He wanted to be on stage. He wanted to be, you know, he wanted to do what he loves to do. And all of the guys, most of the guys in One Direction said that he was the driving force behind, you know, the music, and that he was really like the one who understood music. Now, was his passing on purpose, on accident, or something else? That's something that, of course, I know they're still working on. But I just have to say, at this point in time, like, please let them take Liam's body to the UK. I mean, please let them be able to say their proper goodbye. Please let them have their funeral, because this investigation is now really taking so long, and I cannot imagine what the family is going through. I just feel like, you know, once you have the funeral, you could really start grieving, and you could really start your healing process, whether it takes years or whatever, but you can finally start it. And I just feel like it's just been too long. It's been way too long. And I just, you know, I've seen a hashtag saying hashtag bring Liam home, and I absolutely understand, and I agree with it 100%. So those are the updates of today. You know, like I said, I feel like Liam, I in my heart, I feel like he really wanted to get his life together. I'm not going to rule out any other thing, because I do believe that there's a lot of missing pieces, and I believe that there's some things that just does not make sense. But of course, I don't want to give in to the conspiracies, but also I feel like you have to have an open mind of what could have been, you know? So those are the updates for today. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful and thankful for you guys. I don't take any of you guys for granted. I hope you guys know that I'm doing all the research I can. Of course, I know there's other news of Liam, but there's just some things that I just think are so out there, like allegedly Beyonce pushing him and Diddy and all these things. I'm just like, you know, those type of conspiracies I find to be very disrespectful when it comes to someone who just passed. So I won't be engaging in that. But I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah.